with somebody to tell me why people don't think before they speak. You know what I mean? If it don't have nothing to do with them and it ain't their problem, they don't think about it, you know. But if it got something to do with them, they think about it, they conscious about it. You know, they conscious about stuff that's personal to them. But if it ain't nothing pertaining to them, they'll say whatever they want to say, man. Something happened today, but it reminded me of something that's always happening for a long time in my life. But it reminded me of something that happened a couple months ago. I guess about 3 months ago, I was in the mountains of North Carolina on a youth outreach retreat with Young Life. And we was walking up the mountain. It was a good bit of people walking up the mountain, a couple of hundred people walking up the mountain. And you know, I'm in pretty good shape for most people, you know, for the ordinary person. So we walking up the mountain, and a lot of people couldn't make it all the way up the mountain, especially at the end. So I tried to wait at the end to go with the larger people, and there was about 3 girls that was a little extra large, and they was trying to walk up the mountain, and they think they couldn't make it. I tried to talk to them, try to encourage them a little bit, you know, and stuff like that. And then going up the mountain, one of the girls said, "Ooh, your legs are so skinny and small," you know. And I said, man, what if I looked at you right now and said, "Ooh, your stomach is so fat. Look at that gut." I said, you wouldn't like that, would you? Normally I don't say that when people say stuff like that. But she said, it ain't the same. It ain't the same because people want to be skinny. Everybody want to be skinny. No, you saying it ain't the same to you because it ain't your problem. You don't know what's going on. You don't know my past. You don't know my nature. You don't realize there's a lot of people out there who are skinny and been skinny, and they whole objective is to want to get bigger in life. You know, they eating all the time, but you just see your problem is you being fat. You know, different between it is a lot of them can't do nothing about it. You know, when the truth of the matter is a lot of people that are just huge and way overweight, it's the simple fact that they eat too much and they're just lazy, something like that. They don't work out. And you have some type of disorders where sometimes people can't lose weight, but I'm talking about the vast majority, you know, of people. And she said it ain't the same. I said, yes, it is the same. And I began to talk to her, kind of let her know that you never know what somebody dealt with. And for me, you know, I was small, super small all my life, you know, whatever. And you see my body, upper body is built right now, you know, whatever. But my legs are built a lot compared to what they were in the beginning. And they just won't grow no more. It's just genetics, you know, whatever. But I went through high school, elementary school, never even wearing shorts to school because of how the complex I had with my legs and everything. Because everywhere I go, ooh, you know, your legs so small. No, I don't know it. I've been living myself all my life, but I don't know how small my legs is. Nobody wants to hear that, you know, whatever. So anyway, today in the gym, you know, somebody that didn't even mean any harm said the same thing to me, like, ooh, your legs so small, my calf is bigger than yours, you know, whatever. But I had to ask him, you know, you don't never know what's going on with somebody. They need to work in different aspects of your life. You'll be talking about something and don't even realize why you're talking about it. It might be something about somebody's wife or somebody cheating or some other situation, whatever it is that you're joking about. You don't know what somebody's dealing with, and the very thing that you said might put somebody into the hospital, or they commit suicide or go somewhere and cry. But you don't care because it ain't your situation. So just be careful with what you're saying. Just imagine every time you say something or try to critique or say something criticizing to somebody else, imagine if somebody was messing with that one thing or 2 things that you got that's wrong with you, or defect or something you got insecurity about. Because everybody got some, you know. But people don't look at stuff like that. It's always about them. And I try to say, you know, when I'm talking to people, if anybody around me kind of notice, that I'm always trying to point out something positive about you if I'm going to say something about you. Unless you try to come at me off the wall, then I might say something back. Sometimes, but other than that, I'm trying to say something encouraging. Oh, you look pretty good doing this or that. I try to avoid the other stuff to try to rebuild on that on the more positive stuff, you know. So that's one thing, you know, that's one thing. And that's something I think like people gotta start looking at, you know, in life, and start being more compassionate with things. Because if it were you wouldn't want people to do it to you. Or if it was your daughter, if it was your son, you won't want people to do it to them. You know what I mean? So that's just basically it. So like I said, just think about what you say before you say it.